Hi, junk journaling friends. This is Lauren with Shabby Chic Sunday, and Sunday is over in the corner too. You can probably hear her purring in the background. I have a quick design team share for you and a tutorial for how I made this little mini album. This is a project share using Mr. Whimble's toy shop, and it is the July digital collection by Shabby Art Boutique. For my first little mini project using this kit, I have made a mini album. And it is very shabby. I used just bits and bobs of literally just extra little pieces that would normally be probably thrown off the table or thrown into the garbage. And I found a new home for them in this mini album. For my base, I used CD sleeves. So I'll do a little flip through and then we will construct one together. So, like I said, it's just made with a lot of little bits and pieces that would have otherwise been thrown away. And then I adorned the book then with all of the little fussy cut elements. What's really cool about this project is I felt this to be very freeing and therapeutic. This was a little out of my comfort zone, but it ended up being really comforting to me because I could just sit here and relax and just glue things places. And I've never really sat and done that before. Everything is usually very methodical and very planned out of where I'm going to place everything. And this project was the complete opposite. I literally just glued pieces where they were telling me they wanted to be and then added the fussy cuts around the frame. So my idea for this is that this could be a little album that just continues to grow as your memories continue to grow. What's really neat is that it's impossible to become an alligator mouth. So you can literally just continue to add CDs and it will just continue to get wider and wider and wider without getting that alligator mouth. So you can, I left this open so that you can kind of get a visual of what it would look like if you had photos here. But we left, obviously, the cases open. So you can tuck a photo in there or a piece of memorabilia, and then it can show through the glassine here. And then this page here can be for writing. You know, there's some journaling space there, or you could also use this for additional photos too. So this page here, I just have a rusted little pin here. This is one of the tags from the kit, and I just have it on a little piece of thread. It's a wooden button right here. Look at these precious little fussy cuts, and just some collaging. And I did a tutorial about a flip every way book. I think that's what we ended up calling it. This uses the exact same method as that, except for it's even simpler because you're not adding fabric or paper for the binding. You're literally just using the CDs by themselves, but the method is the same. So you could see for this first page, it opens to the left. And then for our second page, then we have it flip up, and then we'll go from there. So we have just little bits and bobs. Here's a sewn on button here, and I have some tatting, some pearls, some fabric, and almost every single thing in here is vintage, whether it's the lace or the tatting. Things that I haven't used in a very, very long time that have just been hidden in my closet, I finally pulled out for this project. So I was very excited to do something a little different. So this here is just a little piece of lace, and you could journal or put a photo here. The fussy cuts on this page are all about the dolls, and here's Mr. Whimble's toy shop. And there's a little vintage dress on a hanger, and another little tag on a piece of string, a little pearl button. Like, see, look at this tiny, tiny little piece. I normally would have thrown that off my craft table. Sunday probably would have eaten it. Would have vacuumed it up, and it found a new home in this little mini album. And at first, I have to admit, I was a little shy. I was a little hesitant to get going on this. But then once I just sat down and put all of my scraps in front of me, and I just started kind of picking blindly at them, it really all just came together of where everything wanted to go. So it's just layers and layers of scraps. And I'm sorry if you can hear my kids in the background. It's pouring rain outside. Sunday is purring here on the table, and my kids are right outside of the door playing. I've been waiting a long time to film this video, and finally I just said, you know what? Life happens. We're going to film it. I think I might like this page the best. Isn't that precious? Okay, and then, is that the last page? Yes, that's the last page. So, I have not finished this book. This is still incomplete for me because there really is no end. You can continue going and it will just keep adding to it. So this is what I have to share so far. Let's put this to the side. I'm going to show you that in 1 minute. So let's make one really quick together, okay? So like I said, this is the exact same method that we did for the Flip Every Way tutorial. The only difference is all you need are CD sleeves. So I found a whole chunk of these at an estate sale, and all I did was tea dye them. You can find these on Amazon or really anywhere still. And glue. That's the only other thing that you need. And I'm just using plain white Elmer's glue. So you have two options. You can either construct the base of your book first, or you can decorate all of the CDs first and then put them together. I think it would be simpler to decorate your book first. That way you don't accidentally, put too much bunching of fabric up here and then realize that it's too hard to flip up. It might be nice and easy just to have your base ready and then decorate so things don't get lost along the way. So the first thing you want to do is decide which way you want your first page to flip. So my first page flips to the left. So let's go ahead and continue with that, okay? So we're going to pretend this is our first page. We're going to flip it to the left, and I'm going to apply glue right here. That is going to be my flap. This is going to be my page 2, and so I'm going to glue this one onto this one. Okay, so we're going to add just a little stream of glue if it wants to come out. There we go. And it's just paper, so you don't need a lot. Now I'm going to take this, and I want to glue this strip to the back of my next CD. So I'm going to line them up and close. So now here's page 1, and it opens to page 2. Now I have my flap up here, so let's close that. We're going to pretend like we're flipping that up, because that is where the flap is, so that's the way that the page is going to go. I'm going to grab my next CD, open the flap. We're going to add glue right here. Put our next page on, so this will be page 3. And press. So you're gluing the bottom side of the flaps to the back side of the CDs. And the one that has your hole right here will be the front. So here's what we have so far. Page 1 flips to the left. Page 2 flips up. And now you have page 3. So we'll do one more. And like I said, what's so great about this is you can just keep adding to it. It can be as small or as large as you want. Let's do one on another flip up at the top. And you can flip them any which way you want. It does not matter. Okay, so then that goes that way. Let's do one more. Okay. And there you go. That's it. You literally just need 2 supplies, glue and CD sleeves. You can, of course, use double-sided tape as well. But that's it. How simple is that? So it's even easier than the Flip Every Which Way book because you don't need a second, thing for the binding method. You don't need fabric. It's already all here ready for you. And what's really cool about this is you can pick which way you want everything to go. So there you have it. I think I probably will make either another one or I will continue adding to it. And this is what it would look like if you opened it up, just to kind of give you an idea. So that's what I have so far. But every single design will obviously be different because it's totally your choice of how you want it to go. So that is how I constructed this album. Put that to the side. And then the next thing I wanted to show you is I made my own little glassine bags here. And I did that just out of wax paper, and I actually added some more candle wax to this and then ironed it so that it would actually look and feel like a glassine bag, and it's super shiny. And then I just cut it and I folded it. So it's not perfect by any means, but it did the trick. I love the sound. I love the crinkle noise. And then I used it to make just this little book here. Now I haven't binded this together yet. I haven't figured out how I want to bind it, but I'm thinking of maybe a little ring at the top here in the corner, or something on the side, but it would have to be very thin. So I haven't decided yet, but this is going to be another little flip book just like this one. So here's what the first one looks like. There's just a little stream of pearls there, which I thought were just so delicate and dainty, and a bow and some fabric. And then I used the elements from the kit. So these are the little vocabulary words. So those go in the first one. And I just thought this was a beautiful way to store the elements and the ephemera and the tags that were in the kit. So this is how I decorated this second one. Some little crocheting of a flower. I sewed on a button. And there's 2 little tags here from the kit. This one might be my favorite. It actually has the least amount of fabric on it, but I don't know, I just really like it. It almost reminds me of a lady's dress. Like this would be the pretty top that fluffs out, and then the gown at the bottom. I don't know why. A rusted paper clip, and this one holds 2 tags. I will end up putting these in the journal that I'm creating, but for now they're just something pretty to look at. And these are little word strips. And then this is the last one. And it holds a postcard. So I'm going to make a little book out of here. I think I'll probably put, what did I say? I think this is the order that I'll go. And then you'll see all of those other layers from the other cards behind it. And that's it. So that's all I have to show you for today so far, but I will be back very soon. My dad and I are working on a project together, and then I'm also working on a journal with this kit. So I will see you all very soon. Until then, take care.